We begin with the crisis in the Middle East and Israel's latest attack on Iran. Today, international leaders are urging both sides not to escalate tensions any further.
So how did we get here? On April 1st, Israel struck the Iranian consulate in Syria, killing Iranian military commanders.
On April 13th, Iran launched hundreds of missiles and drones at Israel. Israel intercepted nearly every projectile and no one was killed.
And that brings us to last night's attack. Israel struck back at Iran, targeting at least one military base.
We'll head to Tel Aviv in just a minute, but first let's begin with Eyewitness News reporter Chantee lands in the newsroom with the latest on the fallout from this most recent attack. Chantee.
Well, Pedro and Sandra, Israel has appeared to actually promise of striking back against Iran. This after launching retaliatory missiles from last weekend. Now diplomats around the world are urging caution to avoid a larger scale war across the Middle East. Today, and amid warnings of restraint from leaders across the globe, the Middle East woke up to the sound of war at their doorstep. Air defense systems at work by sunrise.
There were some loud sounds that were heard in the east of the city of Isfahan, and this was related to the air defense system triggered by the presence of 3 small drones that were present in that area.
Iranian state media reporting explosions near military bases and research and development sites. Iran's government saying a nuclear facility in the region is safe and has appeared to play down the strikes overall, with officials in Tehran indicating it has no plans for further retaliation.
That seems to indicate that Iran is seeking to step down off the ledge, minimize the impact of the attack, and perhaps walk back down the escalation ladder from here.
Israel spent days calculating this attack, now the second retaliatory strike between the two nations in 1 week. Fearing a larger regional war, U.S. officials urging Israel to avoid triggering greater catastrophe. Secretary of State Antony Blinken today didn't comment on what the U.S. knew about this latest move, but did make its lack of involvement clear.
The United States has not been involved in any offensive operations.
And this all comes as the U.S. House is working to finalize 4 foreign aid bills. One of them includes a $26 billion in aid to Israel. Another includes sanctions on Iran. Sandra, Pedro.
Thank you very much, Chantee. We're going to head to Tel Aviv now, bring in ABC's Soufi Burridge, who has been live on the ground there. Tom, what is the feeling in Israel following these retaliatory strikes, especially as we approach Passover?
Yeah, I just want to bring you some latest details, guys, coming from a senior U.S. official to ABC News, and we were learning some fascinating details. That official saying that actually this strike was carried out by Israeli aircraft operating outside of Iranian airspace, and those aircraft fired, according to the official, 3 missiles at a radar defense system near to an Iranian nuclear facility, Natanz, a well-known facility right outside of that city of Isfahan. Now, the official saying that the nuclear facility was not the target of the strike. That's a critical detail, but saying this strike appears to have been limited in scope and also a clear warning sign from the Israelis to the Iranians. Effectively, the warning really was, look, we really can strike your most precious assets.
I'm curious because Iran had a lot of tough talk before this. They said if anything were to happen, they'd be ready to retaliate towards any attack. So does Iran seem to be poised to fire back at Israel?
Well, Pedro, at the moment, there's no indication from any Iranian official that they're ready to hit back in any way. I mean, quite the opposite right now. I mean, they're toning this down. They're trying to portray it as a victory, both their strike on Israel, which, of course, you know, more than 300 drones and missiles fired at Israel in that unprecedented attack last weekend in response to an Israeli strike in Damascus, killing 2 top Iranian generals. The Iranians are trying to basically portray this series of strikes and retaliations as a victory in their latest statements. But look, the Israelis, fascinatingly, are not commenting at all. Hours after this strike, we have still not had any really formal comment from any member of the Israeli government, really. And that's key. The Israelis are not owning it. They're also trying to dial this down. They've made their warning. The Iranians also stepping back from the brink, and that's where what appears to be the case right now.